I want to tell you a little bit more about Rick's ability to build. In a small town, Araco, in Chile, there was a congregation of about 15 people that met in a very, very tiny little house. Do you know that about 3 years later, those 15 people turned into a congregation of over 250? 4 or 5 years later, they had more people going to that church than the cathedral in the town. And as you know, Chile is quite Catholic. But the whole town was stimulated and encouraged by what Rick did in that church. He helped them build the church, build a building. And people did it sacrificially. And the Lord was able to bless the people because of Rick's leadership and encouragement. I remember Rick taking us to the smallest town, that's out of the way places, to the smallest churches. And he would say, Ron, I'm taking you to this small congregation because they don't have many resources. No one has ever come and spoken there. Yeah. In fact, we went to one small church where no one had ever visited. Rick had a heart for the people. He had a special love and care and concern for the people. Mm-hmm. Rick was a builder. He was a warrior. Rick was also a spy like Joshua. Anytime we would go through a town, we would have to drive all around the town, and Rick would say, there's no church here. I don't feel that there's much positive vibes spiritually in this. You know, I think we should investigate this and see if we can do a work here. That was Rick. And if the Lord would tell him that this was territory, this was a land that he was to conquer, he would. He was tenacious. He stayed at it with patience and diligence until something finally developed. Rick was an excellent spy. He could spy out the unsaved and bring them to the Lord like everything. I love Rick. I loved him, and I still love him.
You know, there's one thing I need to say that I didn't say before, and that is that we've never come back from visiting Rick and Laurel and not be changed. Yeah. Changed not just for the moment, but for a lifetime. And it was a blessing to be able to share some of the things that happened when we were with Rick and Laurel. Mm-hmm. Even just a week ago, my coworkers said, Trudy, when do you need time off this year to go to visit your people in Chile and do what you share so much about to us? And just this week, they asked, when do I need to have time to go to Chile? Even my coworkers have been blessed by Rick and Laurel, your work in Chile. Mm-hmm. So thank you very, very much.
You know, Rick was enthusiastic. I remember he would share the emails that he would get from his dad. And they were often very, very humorous. And he would have to share that humor with me. He was enthusiastic about life. He was enthusiastic about motorcycles. And I remember one time he took me downtown on his motorcycle. Now, I had never been on a motorcycle before, only once really. And in that Chilean traffic, I want you to know it was pretty scary for me, but Rick assured me that everything was fine. And he did an excellent job. I also remember this about Rick. I love sailing. I love sailboats. Rick loved sailing. and he loved sailboats. And as a builder, he even built his own sailboat with great care, and it was very meticulous. What a great craftsman Rick was. We just are in awe of our son, Rick.